The Bengals have figured it out on offense. Asterisk is the official take. We'll get to the asterisk, the footnote at the bottom, as you were supposed to do with asterisks. Cincinnati comes under heavy fire over the course of the first 5 or so weeks of the season. Myself among them, I wrote, I want to say after week 4, a piece about how the Bengals offense was siloed. And we talk about this siloed offense as a remnant of where Zach Taylor, the head coach, came from. He came from a Sean McVay team that put their quarterback under center. They ran outside zone and they ran play action off of the outside zone. He arrives in Cincinnati. They draft Joe Burrow. They spend some time figuring out, the same way that the Bears are with Fields, what this young guy does and doesn't do well at the NFL level. And they discover that, hey, we got him. We drafted Jamar Chase. We got T. Higgins. He's really good. And Joe's so good in empty. He's so good just kind of seeing the field from shotgun, picking a spot and going after it, that we're going to live in this shotgun spread world. And all of a sudden, the Bengals offense became split. In their passing game, they were shotgun, empty, spread, quick game. And in their running game, they were under center, condensed sets, heavier formations, a wide zone. And there was no connecting piece. They didn't have a very good under center, play action passing game off of that. There was no connection from the running game to the passing game. This made them really, really predictable. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, they saw more cover 2 than any other team in the league. And they couldn't beat it because teams played cover 2 when they were in their pass sets. And then when they were in their run sets, they just got into loaded boxes and they always knew what was coming. Over the last 2 weeks, they scored 30 points against the New Orleans Saints, and they scored 35 points against the Atlanta Falcons, most notably with Joe Burrow totaling 344 passing yards and 3 touchdowns, averaging 0.9 EPA per dropback in the first half. Very, very healthy day. They've jacked up their pass rate, 68.2%. This week, which is the 7th highest in the league. And because they've jacked it up, they're pretty much just playing out of shotgun. 89% of the time against Atlanta, they were in shotgun. Now, when they run the football out of shotgun with RPOs. They'll go to empty and they'll bring Joe Mixon into the backfield with motion, or they'll start with Joe Mixon in the backfield and 4 wide and just run shotgun RPO stuff. It works way better than anything what they were doing with under center, and it's indicative of a good evolution, a good change from Zach Taylor, something that he had not yet proven he was capable of. This from Mike Renner at PFF. Under center Bengals EPA per play this season, negative 0.22, 31st in the league. Shotgun EPA, 0.153, 4th in the league. This is now officially, clearly, 100% a shotgun team. It's pretty much all they do. They run under center in very, very specific situations where they're clearly going to run it, clearly going to sneak, something like that. And then they find more success in the passing game. They're way more pass happy, and they really only run on RPO looks into light boxes. Asterisk. Defense is going to catch up to this too. So good. We figured we got back to what we were doing well last year. We're throwing the ball out of the gun. We're throwing it down the field. We're running RPOs and Joe Mixon light boxes, and it feels a lot better. There's a reason why, like this is what the Chiefs looked like 2 years ago. And then you know what the Chiefs did? Overhauled the offensive line and started trying to find a way to run the football a little bit more. Put 2 tight ends on the field, right? Look at the Chiefs right now. All Noah Gray and Travis Kelce. Because if you just live gun, spread, RPO, Bills last year, good example as well. Eventually, teams still find a way to put a blanket on your passing game and say, hey, you have to be able to run the football. So the problem is not solved. It's solved. It's accounted for now. We're taking antibiotics. We don't feel the pain as much as we did. We don't feel the irritation as much as we did. It ain't gone. Treatment has started, but we're on a road here. So Cincinnati's passing offense is better. And I think their offense is going to be better writ large. The longer they stay in shotgun, the more they're able to get their shotgun RPO game working, get the running game working. It's going to be good for a while. This is not the final form. And it's important that Cincinnati understands that and tries to stay on the forefront of this by still looking into how can we get our under center play action game working a little bit better, looking into what personnel additions we can make to make the running game more diverse in shotgun, because it's hard to have a diverse shotgun running game. There's more work to be done here to fully exercise this demon.
I very much liked how you said I have other takes, but antibiotic.
And I know I have no idea why I pronounced it like that.
I like
completely
that.
Incorrect.
I might start stealing that. All right. I see. I'm struggling with how to respond here because I feel like I am probably higher. I feel like I'm higher on Joe Burrow than probably most of the Ringer staff. Just as an individual quarterback, I feel like in the preseason we all had great discussions. Are the Bengals going to be good? Not going to be good? And I basically always came down to, I believe in Burrow. I think he's awesome. I believe in Chase. I think he's awesome. If they do nothing but just throw go balls and back shoulders to Chase, I think they're going to have a good offense. I watched this game against the Falcons and just thought, Joe Burrow is incredible. I did not watch the game and think they figured out a second version of themselves that's going to have lasting power against very good defenses. I mean, now I could be wrong about that, but that's just how I felt about it watching. I looked at the Falcons personnel. They were starting a corner named Cornell Armstrong on Jamar Chase, who was released on August 24th and re-signed to the practice squad on October 3rd. Casey Hayward was not there in this game. AJ Terrell left the game in the first. They were without two other cornerbacks. I mean, we're really talking about back. And then I watched the throws. And certainly they had some, great staple concepts that they've had. Nate Tice was tweeting about the 989 that they use with the two go balls.
Nate's always tweeting about 989. That's all Nate does.
989. Yes, the two go balls on the outside, and then the bender in the middle of the field, which they scored a couple touchdowns on. But I'm looking at these back shoulder throws and going, oh, that is beautiful between Burrow and Chase. I'm looking at that go ball down the right sideline where he just drops it in the bucket before the safety can get over there. And so I looked at it, and I looked at it as I viewed this Bengals offense for the last 2 years. Joe Burrow is really freaking good if you can give him time. He's very accurate. He knows where to go with the football. He wants to push the ball downfield whenever possible. He trusts his receivers. Jamar Chase is very good. It's very hard to cover one-on-one. If it's single high, just take your shots on the outside. And so those were the things that I saw here. Now, I'm not disputing, what you said with the scheme adjustments and maybe what they're doing that's different from earlier in the season. I am disputing that I think they found any type of solution that, here's how I'll frame it that I think will be more clear. I think we'll be having another discussion on extra point taken at some point in the next 6 to 8 weeks, where you're coming on here saying the Bengals are killing me because of X, Y, and Z.
Yes, I know. I very much agree with that. That's the point of the asterisk. It's like, I've seen a lot of people be like, guys, the Bengals have solved the problem. They're just in shotgun now. And to that, I respond, if that were the solution, that would have been figured out a while ago. That's not that's a good way to be. That's a good patch. The 1 week solve. Okay, we've been trying to run under center. It's not working. We're not really going to call the under center run part of the playbook. We're going to call the shotgun run part of the playbook. Nice. That has a limit. It's very, very, very hard to be a team that primarily runs out of the gun. If you look in the NFL right now, there's about 2.5 of them. Arizona, Philadelphia, Baltimore. You can also maybe kind of put the Giants on there a little bit, though they've kind of been changing what they've been doing recently. What is the unifying factor on those teams? Mobile quarterbacks. Very hard to run the gun if you're not going to use your quarterback in the running game. Be a predominant gun run team. So, no, I very much agree. We're going to be back on extra point, either talking about they're pissing me off or Zach Taylor's done a really nice job catching the second thing. I just think that it is important to note relative to, I agree with you. Burrow's a very, very good quarterback. These games in the beginning of the year were not good. The Pittsburgh game was bad. The Dallas game was bad. The Baltimore game was bad. There are quarterbacks who, even when put in really bad schematic places, regularly overcome that. And I think Burrow is pushing that tier, but he's not in it yet. I think some people wanted to place him there. I don't think he's there yet.
We're seeing fewer and fewer. Who would you put on that list though, at this point? Mahomes and Allen? Is there a third guy?
No, I put Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar. I would put Lamar there because Lamar is as always to me, singular. Lamar is nobody ever fully really stops Lamar. So that's right. But I agree. And this brings me back to one of my lifelong extra points. One of my most, this would be my extra point until I die. There are at any time 2 to 3 elite quarterbacks. You may not pick more. The word is elite. Elite means the top 10% max. There's 32 starting quarterbacks. You don't get more than 3 elite quarterbacks. So when you're like, oh, there's not that many left, I'm like, no, there's the exact correct number left. And we've all been throwing words around Herbert and Aaron Rodgers that we don't really mean because elite means elite. But anyway, good sign from Cincinnati. More work to be done.